Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Warrenville City Council regular meeting for July 15th, 2019. I have roll call, please.
Alderman Ashour.
Here.
Alderman Berry.
Here.
Alderman Bavir.
Here.
Alderman Davalos is excused. Alderman Goodman.
Here.
Alderman Kreschel.
Here.
Alderman Widener.
Here.
Alderman Wilson.
Here.
Thank you, Emily. Would you please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the portion of our meeting we set aside for citizens' comments. We have two folks who've signed up this evening, so Jeannie DeSoto and Debbie Leahy. In whatever order you choose, please go to the dais, identify yourself, and give your address and say your piece.
Good evening. My name is Jeannie Tesoro. I live at 30W146 Concord Court here in the city. I'd like to talk to you tonight about our ongoing problem of fireworks and fireworks enforcement over the 4th of July in particular. The recent holiday, our neighborhood, the north side of Summer Lakes, north of Batavia Road and in between Continental and 59, was like a war zone. I saw fireworks go off, including aerials, which, according to the state of Illinois, are not allowed to be set off by people that are not licensed fireworks professionals. This thing was over a roof. I thought it was one of my neighbors, and I was going to go out and yell at them. And I realized when I got out there how high and how big it was. This was like a professional grade fireworks. The big ones that look like flowers that shoot up in the air. My dog was hysterical. At this point, I had been dealing with him for hours. I was livid. I called 911, and I was told, our police are doing everything they can. It's difficult. Well, it's difficult living through this too, and I expect better. These fireworks are dangerous. Over this past holiday, there were houses that were burnt down because fireworks were improperly set off and they landed on a house. We're going to have people that are hurt by these things. We're going to have people come home from possibly seeing the legal fireworks displays that are put on and find their house ablaze. It's just simply not necessary, and more needs to be done about it. I got in the car to see if I could find the address, since I was told, well, if we don't know where they're at, there's not much we can do. So I thought, fine, I'll go look. There was a haze on the road over Riverside, and it looked like a fog. There wasn't any fog anywhere else. This was from the gunpowder in the explosive in the fireworks. There were a lot of police there. I would like to know how many citations were written and what else can be done to resolve the situation. I looked at the Warrenville ordinance, and I think you need to look at that a little bit more closely, because as I read it, it said that somebody could be arrested for fireworks, letting them off illegally, but only once in 24 hours. Think about it. You're basically telling people, we bust you $250, and then you have a license to let them off for the next 24 hours. I've been on the board at Summer Lakes where we rent out a party room. I know these people that want to have these big parties like they do when they let off the fireworks, have no problem dropping $250. I think the ordinance needs to be rewritten. They didn't see anything in there about fireworks being confiscated. So you write them a ticket, they still have their fireworks, and they now have a license to let them off for the next 24 hours. And I think something else needs to be done. And I would appreciate it if it would happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Leahy.
My husband and I live in Summer Lakes at 30W030 Hurlingham Court. I have previously addressed the City Council regarding concerns about the use of illegal fireworks around the 4th of July. I wanted to thank the police department for their sustained enforcement against illegal fireworks, and I believe it is having a positive impact. For the second consecutive year, the Summer Lakes Homeowners Association reported they had not received any resident complaints. In my area of Summer Lakes, near Route 59 and Batavia Road, I did not hear significant fireworks going off prior to and after the holiday. But there was increased use of illegal fireworks on the 4th of July over what I experienced last year. And based on comments that were posted on social media, several other residents also complained about illegal fireworks in the neighborhood. For someone who's going to drive 120 miles round trip and likely spend a few $100s purchasing illegal fireworks in Indiana, a $250 fine might not be a sufficient deterrent. I'd like to suggest that the city consider increasing the fine, as some neighboring communities have done. Batavia, Darien, and Joliet issue fines up to $500. Downers Grove and Elgin are up to $750. In Aurora, the penalties are up to $950. And perhaps the ordinance should include language that the police shall have the authority to immediately confiscate illegal fireworks if that's not happening. And the police may already be doing this, but I wonder if an analysis of incoming complaints and citations issued would reveal hot spots to focus on. For example, there were massive fireworks going off in the area of Riverside, as the previous speaker mentioned. It occurred this year, and it's occurred in the same location in years past. Residents may be able to provide input on other hotspots in their neighborhoods. So again, I'd like to thank the City Council, the Mayor, and the Police Chief for your continued commitment in addressing this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. We will move on now to official and staff comments, beginning with the mayor. I have several this evening. First of all, our treasurer, Larry Brenner, is not here tonight. He's home recuperating from an illness, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a call or a card, or at least keep him in mind. He may be out for some time, but he's doing okay, and he will be fine ultimately. So Larry is recuperating. Second of all, we have a National Night Out coming up on August 6th. That's about a little less than 3 weeks away, 5 to 9 p.m. at Cerny Park. Always a very, very nice event. Police, fire department, elected officials, local businesses, families, neighbors, it's a good time. So put that on your calendar, and don't forget August 6th, 5 to 9 p.m. Warrenville Road reconstruction is about to begin. Some preliminary work will start on the 22nd. That won't affect traffic or access to people's driveway. There will be a pre-construction meeting for the folks living on Warrenville Road on July 25th here at 7 p.m. at City Hall. For those who are interested in the schedule and what will be happening on that reconstruction. Again, July 25th, 7 p.m. The Warrenville Mayor's Fitness Challenge is winding up. It will end on July 29th after 12 weeks. So get your minutes in. There are several people who have double the amount of minutes that I have, so they've been working pretty hard. So you still have a chance to get some in there and get that t-shirt at the end with the minimum amount. From the economic development end of things, I thought it was interesting that last month, according to our weekly report, the month of June, the city conducted 175 inspections and issued 112 building permits with a total construction value of approximately $3,889,000. This number of permits represents an approximate 50% increase in permit activity from the same month in 2018, and is the largest number of permits the city has issued in any single month since the city began tracking permits in 1982. That, I think, signals a pretty vibrant community with a lot of good things going on. We also have a couple of openings for volunteers at the city. The Tourism Arts Commission has an opening. If you want information on that, please send me an email and we will get you a schedule of when they meet and what their obligations are. It's a very fun group. It always has been a fun group, a lot of good people doing good work for the community. I also have an opening on the Plan Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals. One of our people is moving out of town, and we will miss him, but we need to replace him with someone else who's willing to take on that responsibility. So, again, if you're interested, send me an email and I will get you information. And if you're really interested, we can set up an interview and see if that's something for you. The city is also hiring. We have several openings that need to be filled. One is the full-time fleet management position. Another is a full-time management analyst position and a part-time municipal van driver. All of those applications are available here at City Hall or online at warrenville.il.us if you're interested. You can call and talk to somebody or stop in and pick up the applications. And that's all I have for this evening. Clerk. I'll dig a little deeper if you like.
It's almost as many as your whereases. I just want to take the opportunity on behalf of Warrenville and Bloom to thank the city and the council and the staff. We hosted the America and Bloom judges on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and the great man and woman, Steve and Barbara, and we showed them 80% of the city, and they were impressed with our bridge baskets and our hanging baskets, and loved the cemetery. It was amazing what I didn't think they would be interested in. They were, but it all worked out. And so we will find out what our score is at the symposium in St. Charles in October. And I know Dorothy Deers, the president, and she's encouraged staff, as many as you can, to come to at least one of the sessions that will give you an idea of what other communities do. And when they left here, they went to Dyer, Indiana, which is in our population category, and the other one is I knew I was going to forget it, Missouri, Carthage, Missouri, and I can't remember the fourth one, but we had a good time with them. It was interesting to hear their comments, which I'm sure will be in our report. They do a very extensive report, so we'll learn a lot about what we did right and what we maybe didn't do right. So thanks, everyone, for taking the time to talk to them. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. Alderman. Alderman Goodman?
Yeah, I just want to thank Barb Adams in absentia for her tremendous hard work on the city's behalf, and welcome Brooke Lenneman, who's going to be taking over as our regular city attorney.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. City Administrator.
Thank you. Excuse me, Emily just gave me a thought of something to comment on. I'll be very brief, even though it's off the cuff here. It was very interesting to meet with the judges last week. It's a good experience. It was extra work, which the staff always grimaces at a little bit because we've got a billion things to do, and there was extra cleanup and weed pulling and all kinds of things. But it's always good as a community to have folks from outside the community that are coming in with certain expertise, not in everything, but in many things. And then we had time to talk with them on Monday morning and then again at the dinner on Tuesday evening and get their perspective. And it'll be interesting to see the report, because there's nothing like a set of new eyes or people from outside of your community. We get used to seeing things the same way. Every day I drive by things in town. I live in town, so I go by them 100 times and I don't notice them anymore. And all of a sudden the judges were coming and I was looking at things going, boy, that doesn't look right and this doesn't look right, and we're cleaning it up. But they gave us already some very constructive ideas at the dinner, so thank you for hosting that. I know there's a lot more work than just the judging that goes on by the whole Warrenville and Bloom group, and they get some compliments, but they probably don't get enough credit and thanks. And again, our staff was happy to do all that extra work, but I think it was a really good exercise and we learned a lot from it, so thank you.
And there's a rumor going around that the city attorney or the city administrator was seen pulling weeds in front of City Hall. I don't know, is that true?
There's photographic evidence, so I can't deny that.
Thank you, John. City Attorney, welcome, Brooke.
Thank you. As Alderman Goodman mentioned, I'll be the new lead attorney from Holland and Knight, representing the city with my other Holland and Knight colleagues. I've been working closely with Barb since Holland and Knight was retained, and I'm thrilled to get to work even more closely with city staff and ongoing projects.
Great. Okay, let's move on to the agenda for this evening. Alderman Widener?
Just a quick question for those interested in the audience. We'll at some point receive a update or report on 4th of July activities and enforcement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
I
wanted
talked to the
to,
chief about that earlier.
that'll be forthcoming then.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I move to approve the agenda for the July 15th, 2019 City Council regular meeting.
Second.
Can we amend that agenda by
I'm sorry,
eliminating
yes, to
6C?
remove item C from the agenda.
Okay, seconder agree?
Agreed.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries and the agenda is approved for this evening as presented. Less item C. A couple of sets of minutes that need to be approved. Alderman Widener?
I move to approve the minutes of the July 1st, 2019 City Council regular meeting and to approve the minutes of the June 8th, 2019 Community Development Committee regular meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion of those minutes? Again, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries and the minutes are approved. The consent agenda for this evening. Item 6A, accept Community Development Committee recommendation, waive second reading, and pass ordinance 02019-37, approving an amendment to the subdivision control ordinance public improvements agreement provision. B, accept Community Development Committee recommendation, waive second reading, and pass ordinance 02019-38, approving the water main plat of easement on the Conforti property and authorize the plat to be executed and recorded at the DuPage County Recorder's Office. D, accept staff recommendation, waive second reading, and pass ordinance 02019-40, approving a preliminary planned unit development plan and preliminary plat of subdivision and conditionally approving a rezoning, a variation from the Warrenville sign ordinance, and exceptions and variations from the Warrenville zoning ordinance for the Warrenville Horizon Senior Living Facility north of the intersection of Batavia Road and Butterfield Road. E, accept Plan Commission recommendation, waive second reading, and pass ordinance 02019-41, approving a temporary use permit for the Two Brothers Brewing Festival on July 27th, 2019 at 30W315 Calumet Avenue. F, accept Community Development Committee recommendation and pass resolution R2019-31, approving the license and indemnity easement agreement with MI Homes and authorize the city administrator to execute it. G, accept city attorney recommendation and pass resolution R2019-32 regarding the zoning, regulation, and licensing of recreational cannabis businesses. H, accept staff recommendation and pass resolution R2019-33, rescinding resolution of R2019-13, which approved an employee leasing agreement with GovTemps USA LLC. I, accept Community Development Committee recommendation and authorize staff to coordinate their preparation and submittal of an open space land acquisition and development grant application for the proposed trailhead project. J, accept Community Development Committee recommendation and authorize staff to negotiate and execute a contract with Tesca Associates for part-time planner assistance in an amount not to exceed $25,000 and subject to the city attorney's review. K, accept Community Development Committee recommendation and direct the city attorney to prepare an ordinance documenting the city's intent to enforce no parking fire lane restrictions on private property or private driveway areas within the Lexington Trace project. L, accept Community Development Committee recommendation and direct the city attorney to prepare an ordinance documenting the city's intent to enforce no parking fire lane restrictions on specific private property areas within the Everton project. M, accept Community Development Committee recommendation and authorize staff and the Plan Commission to conduct a public hearing to consider a variety of potential zoning ordinance text amendments. And receive and file minutes of the Environmental Advisory Commission regular meeting held on May 22nd, 2019. O, receive and file draft minutes of the Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals special meeting held on July 2nd, 2019. P, receive and file a report of invoices paid up to July 10th, 2019 in the amount of $16,359.92. And O, authorize expenditures for invoices due on or before August 5th, 2019 in the amount of $267,159.96. Alderman Widener.
I move to approve the agenda as presented by Mayor David Brummel.
Second.
Motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Krischel,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Bevere,
Aye.
Alderman Berry,
Aye.
Alderman Goodman,
Aye.
Alderman Widener,
Aye.
Alderman Ashour.
Aye.
Welcome to Warrenville, Alden. Okay, we have nothing under the regular agenda for this evening, nothing under unfinished business, no new business listed, no need for a closed session. Okay, I'm for it, and we just need a motion to adjourn. Alderman Goodman.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.